Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young on this rather cool late April day. We have an awesome Zoom show tonight. We're going back to the lovely state of Florida with a very well-renowned music producer and musician himself, and we're going to hear a music video. I see a music video from him about halfway through the show and discuss all that. But before we do that, and of course, we'll have a great interview as we always do. Got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So we got Tom Auto in Middleborough. We got the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We got Hairway to Heaven, a hair salon in Norwell. We got Crazy Axe's Rec Center in Hanover. We got Rodney's Kitchen in Halifax. We got Pal's Driving School in Middleborough, setting up classes for August and October now. Go check the website. We got Pembroke Radiator in Pembroke. We got Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We got Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We got Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We got New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We got DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialists in Abington, right here on Route 58. We got the Gunrunner LLC, the Second Amendment Freedom Store in Middleborough, and we got Ocean Auto Repair in Marshfield. I want to thank you guys very much. And now I'll introduce this young man, Mr. Justin Turek. I don't know what he's drinking there, but it looks delicious and refreshing. Is it hot? Is it hot where you are?
It's nice out right now, but yeah, this is actually nice and refreshing. This is a drink. I'm actually sponsored by this company. It's called Mitra 9. It's it's a plant-based, no alcohol. It's alcohol-free, caffeine-free, sugar-free. It's made with all plant-based products.
Yeah,
gives you energy.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned. I'm glad you're doing that. You have that because, you know, as you saw this morning, I popped a pic of my refrigerator on YouTube, on Facebook, because I am in fact a vegan, and are you as well?
Yes.
Oh, and you look great. You look very healthy. So
thank you.
Anyone that argues that vegans can't live and look and thrive and prosper don't know what they're talking about, and they don't know us, obviously. But that's going to change after today for the show.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and I had this really delicious chickpea tofu that I just bought. Shaw Supermarket, which is a big supermarket chain up here in the Boston area, had a whole junk load of that stuff, and I totally cleaned them out yesterday, or Monday actually. So it's a great addition to my vegan diet, and I'm always looking for good stuff. Okay, my only concern is I'm wondering why they put something plant-based in a can rather than like a bottle. I would just think it would taste better in glass, but that's me.
Yeah, I think everything tastes better in glass, but it's carbonated, right? I think carbonated drinks definitely taste better in a can. I don't know if you could no, I can't say that. Soda does taste good in a glass, I guess.
I haven't had a carbonated drink in over 40 years. I used to drink Coke, by the ton, but I don't do carbonated drinks at all. And well, actually, that's not true. Yeah, it's not 40 years. I think 1991, so a little over 30 years, I was drinking these things called spritzers, which were made, but it was the drinks were so sugary. They were supposed to be healthy. And we got them at Whole Foods up here. You probably have Whole Foods down there because they went national since then, and they're everywhere now. It's the very expensive health food store. And yeah, and you look healthy, so obviously you know what you're doing.
It's been great. I started eating like this about 2-3 years ago.
Really?
I immediately lost like 15-20 pounds within the first 2 weeks. But I also quit drinking alcohol and stuff like that too. Alcohol makes you gain weight.
It does. But you look in good shape for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I do my best to try and be healthy and live a healthy life and respect the animals.
There you go. I love it. So I'm glad you commented on that picture this morning, and I'm glad you brought it up. It's like it was meant to be when you were holding that drink and mentioned plant-based, and I might have totally forgot about that exchange we had this morning on Facebook. So I'm glad so that worked out great. As I always say, everything happens for a reason. All right, but now we're going to talk about your music career. So you're a musician and you're a music producer for yourself and other people. Is that it? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, tell me about now. What part of Florida are you in? Are you in like the Miami area?
I'm in the northern Florida, like the East Coast. I'm in between Jacksonville and Daytona Beach.
Okay, all right. So you are on the waterfront, near the water.
Oh yeah, I'm like 10 minutes from the water.
You're 10 minutes from the water. Okay. Did you grow up down there?
Oh yeah, I was there today.
No, I mean, did you grow up in Florida?
Oh, did I grow up in Florida? No, I was born and raised in New Jersey.
Oh, okay, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and I lived in PA for 5, 6 years before I came down here to Florida. I've only been here in Florida for a little over a year.
Oh, okay. And is it for, why did you move to Florida? I know, I mean, that's not that's not a blunt question. I'm just curious because I know it's a great state to move to. Everybody likes warm weather, but everybody has their own reasons for moving wherever they move. So elaborate if you would as to what your reason for moving there was.
Well, it was a number of reasons. It's I'm not say it's cheap. It's definitely not that cheap, but
Okay.
it's cheaper than where I was at, but also a little bit to do with family, as well as we just wanted to make a change in life and a change in environment. Florida worked because
Sure.
of other family relationships. And I just love Florida. I always liked Florida growing up. I used to visit Florida at least once a year,
Wow.
as a child growing up. I love nature. I love water,
And you
and
love animals. Great.
my wife loves to be in the sun. So
Okay. So you moved,
it just worked.
so you and your wife moved down there and you have a son too, right? You told me you have
Yes, we actually have 3 kids.
three kids. Wow.
I have a 9-year-old daughter. I have a 9-year-old stepson,
Okay.
and then I have a 3-year-old son.
Okay. Wow. I mean, between that and your music, must keep you pretty busy.
Oh yeah, I'm busy.
All right. Well,
Yeah, for sure.
tell me about what you yourself were like as a child. How did you get into music? What did you aspire to? And we'll cover all that and we'll move on from there. So, I'll ask you questions as I fit.
Yeah, music. I mean, music has been a part of me as long as I can remember.
Okay.
I I can remember playing back cassette tapes when I was probably in kindergarten, as far as I can remember it.
What
Sure,
kind
it
of tape,
started earlier than that.
what kind of tapes did you say you played in kindergarten?
So my parents gave me a few cassette tapes, and I
Okay.
listened to a couple kid tapes like nursery rhyme stuff. But
Okay.
then some of the tapes that they gave me, I had, from what I can remember, I had a Motley Crue cassette tape.
Wow.
I had a Squeeze cassette tape.
Okay.
I think it was Meatloaf, and what was the fourth one? I can't remember.
All classics.
Oh,
Obviously,
it was Journey. Journey
Sure.
was the fourth.
there you
fourth
go.
one.
We have I think Steve Perry's from my area up in Whitman, Mass. I don't know if you've ever been up to New England, but obviously your parents are big into rock and roll, which is,
Oh yeah.
oh, that's great. Okay. So that obviously you weren't raised in a, you didn't start out singing in a church choir then, I guess.
No, I didn't. No,
Okay.
no, my parents were rockers, and
Cool.
that definitely influenced my music for sure.
Okay.
And I just loved music. I would play the cassette tapes back and forth over and over, trying to learn the words and sing along.
Yeah.
And then I guess some of my family members, well, my parents probably picked up on the fact that I had a singing voice, and they encouraged it, and eventually blossomed into what it is today.
Wow. And you worked, well, as far as musical instruction, how did you do with that? Did you take lessons of any kind?
I never took any classes. Everything was self-taught. So
Really?
my dad got me a guitar when I
Yeah.
was about 12 years old, and me and my friends just kind of learned together. My one friend, Matt Zappia, he lived down the street from me. He had a guitar. He got guitar lessons. So whatever he would learn, he would come and teach me when we were hanging out. So I kind of learned from my friends, and we learned how to read tablature, which isn't music theory, but it was a way of reading sheet music in a way, tablature, and we were able to learn songs that way. And then once I started learning other music, it just kind of came to me. The rest, I practiced the chords, and that's it.
I've never heard of
No
tablets.
vocal lessons either.
Okay.
I never had one vocal lesson. Well, I can't say that. When I got a little older, I took an artist development class with a celebrity vocal coach. Her name was Carrie Cole, out in New York. She works with like a lot of American Idol contestants, and she nurtures some famous artists back to health who have some issues with their vocals from excessive touring.
Okay.
But she did some vocal lessons. She taught me how to do warm-ups and a lot of more so vocal health, and artist development. But other than that, no, I haven't really had any lessons.
Wow. She taught you like me. Is that part of
Yeah,
it? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
used
a little more technical than that, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, but that's something. All right. Yeah, all right. So your inspirations were the heavy metal rockers, but were you ever in a band at all with those guys that you were talking about, or
But
you just
yeah, I mean,
jamming with them and stuff?
we did start a band. We went on. I actually started a band in middle school.
Okay,
It was, I think I was in 8th grade. A couple of friends of mine decided to start a band. We were all asked. One of the friends was on, I guess, one of the school boards, and they were asked to put a band together for our character education.
okay,
But the problem was a lot of us were kind of troublemakers. So we were in trouble in school. So the school told us, we'll let you do the show if you promise
clean
to
up your
keep your
act.
grades up and stay out of trouble. So we
Huh?
did, and they had us do the show. And it was a huge success. It was so successful that they asked us to play for all the 5th graders that came in. There was like 3 or 4 schools that would tour the school. So we
Okay, wow.
performed for all the 5th graders, and they had us do the spring, the winter, and then they even had us do graduation. That they had this band do all those shows, which was a lot of fun. And then from there, I ended up 2 of the members, the drummer and I, formed a band called Way Past Last, and that would be my first actual recording, my first step into the recording arts. That's when I
Okay.
first started to record music.
And how long ago was that? Now, this is what you were in, what, like middle school yourself when you started doing this?
Say
Were
that
you
again. Sorry,
you like
cut
in,
out a
you
little
like
bit.
in, no, were you like in middle school? Is that what you said? You started off, this all began in middle
Yeah,
school?
that was in middle school.
Okay.
Oh, man, what year would that be? So I would
Well, how old are you
say
now?
2004 or something was when I started the band Way Past Last. That was
Okay.
after the middle school band.
All right. So you're 20s, you're in your 20s then, right? Because you don't look about 28 now.
No, I was a lot younger then. I was 2004. I was probably 14 or 15 years old.
Well, all right. Well, that if that well, that's almost 20 years ago. So you're in your 30s then.
Yeah, I'm 33.
Wow. Huh, you look much younger. That's great. Well, music keeps you young, I guess.
I guess so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So in the meantime, I mean, obviously, it's kind of an interesting observation, but if if you guys were punks, you could be doing, if you guys continue to act as punks as they said you were doing, which is why they gave you the option to clean up your act or not, you could have still been punk rockers, but it's probably better this way.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't help but use that analogy somehow.
Well,
All
the
right.
name of the band was In Danger of Failing, which was
Okay.
pretty. Which they wouldn't let us use that name for the character education. We ended up going with The Cool Guys, but then after that, they allowed us to use the name for the other show. So,
Okay. So
Danger of Failing.
they wanted you to be good role models for the kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, guess what? We are halfway through the show, and what we're going to do is we're going to watch a video of Justin's, and then we'll be right back and we'll talk about it. So it's an exclusive video. It's going to air for the first time on my show on Topic Time. So here's where you're going to get to see it, folks. So get psyched, and we'll be right back.
I've been living in a lie, but on your breath, and you will find my body's a temple, my mind's a shrine. I now see more behind closed eyes. All the time I was just the truth is in the lights. So the hell with religion. Stepped out of darkness into light, and it opened my third eye. My body's a temple, my mind's a shrine. I now see more behind closed eyes, and the truth is in the lies. Take, just take a look inside. Focus on your breath, you will find. Just take a look inside. Focus on your breath, you will find.
Oh, that was great. Tell me what we just watched. Tell me about that video.
About the video?
Yes.
Okay, so the video, it's the new song I'm releasing on, it's actually this Friday, it's releasing on the 21st.
Congratulations. Okay.
It's a hard rock song.
Okay.
I haven't done hard rock in a while. I've been doing pop rock country for the last 10, 15 years. It's
Okay.
been a while since I've done hard rock. So I kind of went back to my roots
Okay.
a little bit. It's a little different than what most people are used to hearing, but it's this type of music is I have a passion in, and I miss doing it. So I really thought it'd be cool to do some more hard rock music.
Okay.
The video itself, I actually I filmed and edited myself. So it's everything I did in there, I did myself. So
Awesome. Who wrote it?
yeah.
Well, who wrote it though? Did you write
I
it?
wrote the song. Yeah,
You
no,
wrote the
I
song
wrote
too,
the
okay.
song. I was composed by a producer
Okay.
out in Belgium.
Wow.
So it was a little bit of a collaboration, but I wrote all the lyrics. I wrote the melody. He came up with the composition.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. So not what about now? You produce music for other people too now, correct?
Correct. Yeah. I was working for a company called Songfinch for a while, where I was creating custom songs for like birthdays or anniversaries and stuff like that, which was pretty neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also do produce music for other artists. It's a new venture of mine that I'm getting into.
Okay.
So I don't have too many artists under the belt yet, but it's a work in progress.
Well, you're right. You're just starting out with this. This is a new phase that you just began. And how long ago did you begin it?
About a year ago.
Okay. I know it takes time to build a following like that.
Yeah.
So how do you market your production company to other people? To other artists? What do you do?
Well, right now it's really just, I'm taking it slow right now. So it's just really word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Okay.
I'll use certain sites like Upwork if someone's looking for a producer
Oh, really?
to work
Okay.
with. And so Upwork is a great site to kind of connect and get some leads.
Yeah.
But not doing too much heavy not doing too much heavy promotion right now, because I'm really focusing on some of these new songs that I'm going to be releasing this year
Okay.
as well. So
All right. Now when do you have other people like do backup, video and backup instruments, playing the instruments and also singing as well in your music? Like often,
Of course.
even single artists will do that depending on what their needs are. Is that what you do as well?
yeah, I do a couple different things, like the song that everyone just heard.
Yeah.
That's going to be like that was more so producer collaboration. But the last album I made, Just in Time, I released that last year, I think in February or March.
Using your own name was
And
kind of a kickoff to it,
yeah,
right? Got it.
Just in Time, yeah.
Right.
And so that one I actually did in Nashville. I flew out to Nashville. Was working producer out there, so and
Oh,
we had
wow.
a full live band. We went in the studio, we did it all live. So there was, well, for the most part, the instruments recordings were live. I did the vocal session the day after separately, but I did sing with them during the session. But we had some pretty big name artists on there too. I think the guitar player Troy Lancaster, he
Wow.
plays on a lot of Blake Shelton's hits.
Okay, so basically, okay, so he backs up Blake Shelton. So that's what I was asking you, if you had people that backed you up too, that might
Yeah.
also back up big. Wow, that's great. So right, that's how you're making big connections, by having people that back up bigger artists work with you, and then and then they'll see what you can do, and then they'll want to they'll want you to work with them as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, as far as like editing your videos and stuff, are you an expert at video editing as well? Are you? I mean, you're proficient enough so that you can do it yourself, or do you have help? Or
I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I
Okay.
prefer, when it comes to production of my stuff, I prefer to outsource it when it comes to video production. But this particular video, I was kind of playing around with myself. I think for someone who's not a video editor, I think I did a pretty decent job.
Oh, absolutely, no question about it. So, I mean, have you had any? Speaking of that, have you had any scholastic training in video editing at any school you've gone to, whether it be
No,
Okay.
no, just playing around on the video editing software, watching some friends do it. I have a good friend who's into video editing, and I learned a few things from watching him.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You kind of got to see. Now, as the years, I noticed. Now, I haven't done. I'm not great at editing. At my first location for the show, I had to do it. I do a little editing at one of my locations to get the graphics up. But as far as doing like special effects, I can't do them at all. So that having been said, do you have like I mean, how many people do you have like work that are like in your corner for helping you with this? Do you have like a team?
I don't have a team. I was starting to work with a team this year, but I ended up cutting ties.
Okay. You have to find the right
It's
combo.
hard. It's hard. Yeah, you got to
It
find
is.
the right people. Everything's got to jive. But for the most part, I do everything on my own. It's tough, but I do have resources. So
Yeah.
certain web platforms that I could use where I can get good quality, let's say graphic design work
Right.
done
Okay.
for cheap and stuff like that. But for the most part, I do it all myself. I don't have a team. Promotion's done by me. Production's done by me. Everything is done by just me.
Right. Okay. Have you ever done anything like, you look athletic? Did you play sports in school or anything like that?
No,
I'm multifaceted. The people I interview are.
I was into track a little bit
Okay.
when I was younger, but
I would look at you. I would have figured
once
more
I hit middle
football,
school and I started
hockey
playing
maybe.
music,
Okay. Yeah.
I played hockey. I played hockey for a little while when I was a kid as well.
Yeah.
Hockey was
Okay.
fun. But
Yeah.
other than that, I wasn't really into sports. I don't even watch sports on. If you
Oh, okay.
asked me what was going on in the world of sports, I couldn't tell you.
It's funny because I'm a big sports fan of the New England teams, and my Bruins are playing your Panthers in the playoffs, and we're already up 1-0, and they're playing again tonight in Boston.
Okay.
I don't know if I guess you don't care because you're not a big fan, and that's fine. That's the great thing about being in America. You don't have to be a big fan of everything, but
Yeah.
it just occurred to me. Yeah, I mean, so we don't have to have like, my team's, I mean, a lot of the Bruins are predicted to go far this year, that possibly win the Stanley Cup. They finished with most points. All the playoff routes lead through Boston this year, and that's, but it's not going to be an easy feat for them either.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when you do your music, have you gotten any press coverage down where you're at, or anywhere at all around the country, or have you been on TV before or on the radio and any?
I've been on TV before. Yes, I've done a talk show similar to this in New York.
Okay.
Well, that was a while ago. But I've performed on stage in a stadium from 25,000 people people as
really?
a featured
Well, tell
artist.
me about that. Where was that?
So that was in 2012 at the Market America International Convention in South Carolina at the
Wow.
Greensboro Coliseum. I think the place sits about 30,000. I think there was about 25,000 people there,
Nothing
but it
wrong
was
with that.
for an entertainment company called Conquer Entertainment that I was working with at the time. So yeah,
Okay.
that was a really cool experience. It
I'm
was
gonna,
really neat.
yeah, I mean, yeah. So speaking of venues, I mean, now you performed in Nashville too, right? Isn't that what you said when you were there? You were performing
I
there as
recorded
well?
in Nashville. I think I did I popped in on a songwriter round that let me come up and do a song out there in Nashville. But other than that, I've never actually performed in Nashville.
Okay,
But recently back to the press, I just won my song. I had a pop rock country song that I released off that album Just in Time.
okay,
Passion was one of the songs, and it won Song of the Year for the SSA Music Awards.
sweet.
That I won down at a festival down here in Florida. And then another song on that album, Time, was nominated Song of the Month for January of 2023
Sweet.
for the Songwriter Universe magazine, which was pretty awesome as well.
Yeah. So is that a national publication, or is that just where you are? It must be a great publication if they nominated you, but I mean, what's the circulation about?
The award wasn't, I guess you could say it's national because there's only acts that played in the festival were nominated, were eligible for nomination. And there was artists coming from all over the country to play at the festival. So I would say it was national, but it's a local company. So
Obviously, people from all over the country are flocking to that one location. That's as good as national. I mean, even if you're national, you can only be in one place at once at a time. So if you're in New York, New Jersey, or Cucamonga, you're still, if everyone knows about it, if people are coming from all over the place, then it's considered a national event.
The song of the month was definitely national.
There you go.
I won that through a web platform called Broadjam. That was posted naturally. So I would say they were both national then.
There you go. Well, that answers the question. And on that note, we're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope you had fun talking to me.
It was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do, first of all, I want you to look at your phone there and give shouts out to people that are going to see the show. We'll condense them, talk to your wife, your kids, friends real quick. And then we'll wrap the show up with my music as we began it. So go ahead real quick and do that, if you would.
All right. I just wanted to thank everyone out there listening, friends, family, my beautiful wife, Lauren, my kids, all my new friends down here in Florida, all my great friends up north in New Jersey, Mitra 9, and they're
cool,
and all the team with them. And by the way, if anyone's interested in Mitra 9, if you use my discount code TurkMusic, all caps, you'll get 20% off.
Sweet. Okay. Is it available all over the country?
Yeah, you can order online.
Oh, I see what you're
it's
saying.
probably
Okay.
to use the discount code. It's probably best to go on their website, mitra9.com.
Okay, that's awesome. Wow, they really like you, and I can understand why. All right. Do you have anything coming up that you might have overlooked that you want to mention real quick as well? Like a concert or something, or in addition to the video that we have edited into the show, is there anything else going on for you?
I plan on releasing at least one song per quarter of the year. So definitely look out for some new music. I have, that song, the video just watched, and I have another 3 more that are in line to be released.
Right.
So
probably June, September, and December. That'll be quarterly. That's perfect. I think that's what quarterly is. Wow. All right. No, all right. You did a great job. If you have any friends or anybody in the music industry or anyone at all, just that has an interesting story to tell them, I'm getting more guests from word of mouth now, just as I got you. You got my digits, have them text me. We'll get them on the show either in person or by Zoom, as we got you on, if that's okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. All right, Justin, one last favor. After we wrap the show up, will you stick around and do a couple of pics for Facebook? My tech guy will take them, and then I'll tag you. And then if you want to tag me, that would be awesome.
No problem. Of course.
Okay. All right. We're going to wrap the show up. You ready?
Yeah, I'm
Wrap
ready.
it up with the snapping. All right, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. See you next week with another great guest and or guest. Take care. Signing off.